Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is Andy 150, and we are continuing from our texturing in Substance Painter. We exported all our textures, and now we need to apply them to the objects in our scene. Okay, so everything's UV mapped, everything's textured, so all we need to do is apply it to the object. Okay. So first things first, we need to make sure that your Arnold is showing up in your main menu. Okay, and I can see that mine is showing Arnold. Okay, so if you don't see that up on the main menu, okay, then you're going to need to load it, okay, as a plugin. It's easy to do. Go Windows, Settings, Preferences, Plugin Manager, and just scroll all the way down almost to the bottom, and where it says mtoa.mll, make sure you click on Loaded and Auto Load. Click on Refresh and Close. So everything should be good. So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and select everything in our scene. Now again, the walls are extra credit. You do not have to do the walls if you don't want to. You don't have to texture them or anything like that. But you do get extra credit if you do model them and texture them. Otherwise, I'm just going to put them in a layer. I'm going to call these walls, and we're just going to focus just on the main scene for now that you have to turn in. So this is basically, well, you have to get the things duplicated over for the chairs, but this is basically just the scene that we're going to be turning in. And if you want to do the extra credit walls, that's great. Okay? All right, so with that said, I am going to go ahead and get started. So we want to select these, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the walls since I've got them built. I'm going to go ahead and select everything, and under Poly Modeling on the shelf, I'm going to click on Delete History and Freeze Transformation. Okay, I'm going to turn the walls off now because I'm just going to focus on texturing these models here. So I'm going to, one thing I do want to say is I had to take my project folder and duplicate it to the Documents folder under Maya because my flash drive couldn't handle going back and forth with the textures, so it crashed my system a couple times. So you cannot run your project off of your flash drive. You might be able to run it off the if you have a external hard drive, a bigger one than a flash drive, or an SSD drive, but what you probably want to do is take your project folder and put it on your desktop and just go to File, Set Project, and go to your desktop and then highlight your folder and click Set. Okay, that's what I would recommend. And what I ended up doing is going to Documents and going into my Maya folder and in Projects, and I placed it in there. And then you'd have to set your project then. Okay, you have to set it. So set it up, just highlight it and then set, and then it should be able to open it up right away when you go File, Open Scene, right? And it should open up all your scenes that you have so far. Okay, so with all that done, sorry for the little prep work there, but I did crash it several times trying to do this with running off my flash drive, so I figured that was the problem, and it was. So I'm going to right click over this, right mouse button click, and go to Assign New Material, go to Shader, and then click on AI Standard Surface. And then I'm going to go in here, and you can see if you don't see the materials editor for that particular object, do Control A. So if you see this, the channel editor and the layers editor, then you're going to go Control A again to get your attributes. And under the attributes, you're going to see a little tab here, AI Standard Surface. Now, you need to delete the history, otherwise you're going to see a bunch of tabs across here, and you'll probably have to click on the arrow or move all the way across there to get this one. So deleting the history will keep this right and organize it a little bit better. So we're going to call this table underscore TX and hit enter. All right, so we're going to be adding the color channel, the metalness channel, the roughness for the specular, and under geometry we're going to add the normal map to the bump mapping channel. Okay, so those are the areas that we're going to add our textures. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is hit the 6 key. Okay, 6 key allows us to see texture maps. So hit the 6 key. Okay, it also turns it on here. You can see that smooth shade on. We got hardware texturing. That's what we want to see here. Okay, hardware texturing. It's running off our graphics cards. Okay, so back to table texture 1, and under the color, next to the color, we're going to click on the option box. We're going to go to 2D textures. We're going to go to file, and we're going to, next to file filter type, we're going to go to off. Okay, and we're going to find our file. So image name, we're going to click on the file here. Now if you set your project up properly, it will go into source images. We placed all our textures in the source images folder. Now you have to set your project. That means that you have to go to file and set your project and find your project. Could be on your desktop, probably put it on there, or in your documents folder under Maya and then projects. Okay, but you got to set your projects to be able to find this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down, and I named all my textures, meaning that I did it beforehand when I saved them out. So if you didn't do that, that may be a problem for you. So we're going to click on the very first one, table base color dot 1001.png. Okay? All right. So you can see my texture. I click open. All right, so it opened up my texture, but it's got it on the leg, so that's kind of weird. But I'm going to go to UV tiling mode and click on that, and go to Unum Mari. Okay, I'm going to click on generate preview, and it generates it right away like that. Now, depending on your video card, this may take a while, so just be patient. Okay. So a couple things we need to select is color space sRGB. Okay, color space sRGB. And that's okay. That's what we need for the color map. So we can see the color map, which is really cool. It's good. Glad we can see that. Scroll down, and under, I want you to be aware of this, the color balance. We don't want it to do anything in here. Okay, so just leave that alone. But I want you to know it's available, and I want you to open it up like this. Okay, we're going to scroll back up. Now we're going to go back in here. Okay, click on this box that has the arrow facing out. This brings us back to where we were before. Okay. All right, so if you mess up, something happens, click off and click back on, and this will open up again. Okay. So the next thing we're going to add is the metalness. Click on the option box, 2D textures, file, click on quadratic to off. We need to click on our image name, scroll down, and now we're just adding all the texture maps. So table metalness 1001 PNG. Click open. Okay. And then we're going to click on UV tiling mode to Unum Mari. Click generate preview. Okay. And then under color space we're going to do utility raw. Okay. And then we're going to click on alpha is luminance. Okay. Now notice that that is important that you click on it, otherwise the texture won't show up again. Okay. So color space is utility raw, and then alpha is luminance under color balance. Okay, scroll back up and click on the box with the arrow that goes out. Okay. And then the next one is our roughness map. So it's under specular roughness. Go into the option box. Click on 2D textures, file, filter type to be off, image name, scroll all the way down again, table roughness, 1001. Okay, click on open. And UV tiling mode, we want to be Utamari. We want to click on generate, scroll down to utility raw color space, okay, and then we want to click on alpha is luminance. All right, the next one, click off. Okay, I'm going to click anywhere off in here. Click back on the table. That kind of regenerates everything and refreshes stuff. I'm going to scroll down to geometry, and next to bump mapping, I'm going to click on the option box, click on 2D textures, file, and in here you see something different. Okay, use as, click on use as bump. We're going to do tangent space normals. Okay, we're going to click on the arrow, and that goes right to filter type to off. Okay, we're going to find our normal map, so scroll all the way down, and the table normal is here. Okay, there we go, table normal map. I want the top one, 1001. Click on open. Okay, there we go. And this one is going to be UV tile mode to Utamari. That looks good. And color space is utility raw. Okay, that's very important. And then under color balance, we want to make sure you uncheck alpha is luminance. Okay, uncheck alpha is luminance. That looks good. We're going to regenerate till that shows up again. And that turned out great. This is exactly what I want to see. Okay, there we go. So you got to see exactly how I go through the process of adding the textures to it. Okay, so I want you to continue doing that. Now, if you don't see your textures on here, you probably want to go into Renderer and go to Viewport 2. Open up the little box there. And I want to scroll down to maximum texture resolution clamping, and I want you to click on regenerate all UV tile preview textures. Click on that. Okay, and that should nudge it to get it to show for you. Okay, now we're going to add the same thing to the chair. Okay, we're going to click on the chair. We're going to right click over, assign new material, go into shader, AI standard surface, and in here we want to type in chair underscore texture TX and hit enter. And what you're going to do is you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to plug in all the textures in here like I showed you before. You can rewatch this video again and again to make sure you do it correct. Okay? All right? Okay. All right, I'll see you in the next video then to see where you're at with the chair. All right.